How is a past student and past student board member in Anne Arundel County influencing the way we look at wellness? Next on Food for Thought. Hi, I'm Jodi Risse, the host for Food for Thought, and thanks for watching. Today I'm joined by Nick LeFavor. He's an Anne Arundel County resident. He was a student, and he now goes to LaSalle University. Welcome, Nick, to Food for Thought.
Thank you for having me, Jodi.
Can you tell the viewers a little bit about yourself? You have so much history here in Anne Arundel County, but they may not know who you are. So can you share a little bit about yourself?
Well, I'm Nick LeFavor. I'm an Anne Arundel County resident, born and raised. I grew up right outside of Annapolis. I recently graduated from Old Mill High School in 2013, where upon graduation I started attending LaSalle University. At LaSalle University, I'm currently majoring in finance, and I'm dual majoring in PPE, which is political science, philosophy, and economics. And it's kind of our university's way of having a public policy major. So I hope to go in that public service field of work and really try to impact my community. At LaSalle, I also participate in cross-country, track, indoor, and outdoor.
Now, did you do cross-country while you were in school here in Anne Arundel County?
Actually, no, I did not. I played soccer for 4 years at Old Mill High School. I ran indoor and outdoor track, and I also played 1 season of baseball at Old Mill.
Wow, so pretty diverse and I think very athletic, to say that.
I'd like to think of myself as athletic, but I wouldn't go that far.
Well, let's tell the viewers a little bit. We met each other many years ago, and our superintendent at the time, Dr. Kevin Maxwell, would host a teen advisory group, and we would talk about concerns and opportunities in the school system to have students like yourself, when you were here, have an impact and a positive impact on the school system. And that year there was some interesting discussion about food, and I was relatively new as the food service director here in Anne Arundel County. Share a little bit about that. And you know, when you were a student, how did it feel being a student for your K through 12 years here in Anne Arundel County?
Wow, that teen advisory seems like ages ago. I think almost 4 years now. But the food discussion you're talking about, we were discussing the case of honey mustard and how it was taken away from our schools and how our students were really passionate about their salad dressings. And instead of just taking it away from us, through that teen advisory, we discussed, and you discussed with us, a compromise to find a low-fat, low-calorie option so we could get the best of both worlds. Now, being a student, you kind of are really narrow-minded in your perspective about wellness. For the most part, students only think wellness is about what you eat in the cafeteria and a little bit of what you do during PE and physical education. But as I grew older, I realized how all-encompassing wellness is for our school system. It permeates every body of our school day. In elementary school, you definitely only think it's about that chocolate milk you get during lunch or that recess time or that PE time where you're playing tag. But as you get through high school, you realize it's about your mental well-being, your mental wellness, your environmental wellness, staying green, keeping your school safe and clean. And that's really where your awareness expands as you go through the years from K through 12. So by the time you graduate high school, you know, it's just a whole different perspective when you started.
Yeah, and don't you think even over the years, and I've been here many years as well in the division, not always as supervisor, we've just grown so much as a county to really look at how well we can make the student, right? So a healthy student will create a healthy school, and we ultimately really cultivate a community of wellness, right? Because you're excited about what you're seeing at school or what you're learning at school, and you get to take that home to your mom and dad or your siblings. So I think it's changed so much, and we've grown so much, and it's so encompassing of the whole child and of the whole school environment, more so than I could ever remember, you know, today.
Well, growing up, being the youngest of 3, my older brother and sister also went through the school system. I can remember when I was young, what they're learning about school and what they're learning in health class, they'd come home and practice on me. If I was eating something bad when I was really little, my older brother would be like, Nick, stop eating that, that's not good for you. And he'd try to explain what he was learning in the classroom to me as a young student. And I think that's that community of wellness that you're talking about that Anne Arundel County Public Schools really created.
We do, and it's so empowering. I think I always think we're very unique. I think we're a school system that does that exceptionally well.
Mm-hmm.
And I hope viewers watching can really sense that from our conversation today, because I think it is. It's all encompassing. It's every adult in that school building. It's all of the students in the school building, be it a six-year-old or a 17-year-old. I mean, we really feel pretty passionate about each and every person and the difference we can make for the student, because we know we can make a difference for the community at large. Now, in 2012, it was a pretty special year for you. I know it was your senior year, and that's really cool, being a senior, because you were the big guy on campus. But very unique in Anne Arundel County, we have a student board member, and as a student board member, they have full voting rights. So you really are empowered to make decisions on budget or on human resources or on wellness, which we talk about a lot. Can you share with the viewers a little bit, because you were our student board member in 2012, 2013. What is that like? I just, I know when I go in front of the board, it's so powerful for me as a supervisor, looking up and just engaging with what we love to do here in Food and Nutrition Services. How does it feel sitting up there on the stage as the student board member and really reflecting back of the decisions you made and the choices you were able to make to really, move Anne Arundel County forward?
Well, what I always tell everybody about my experience as student member on the Board of Education is that it was life-changing. It's a priceless education in and of itself. You learn so much in a very, very short year, very fast-paced, that by the end of the year, you just look back and, wow, you're a totally different person from start to finish. I think the biggest thing I learned being on the Board of Education is my whole perspective about education. Education is so much more than teaching and learning. Like you said, it's all-encompassing. We have wellness programs to worry about. We have legislative measures to be taken. We have political relationships to be solidified, and we have budgets to be managed. So I think what I learned most about education is that sometimes you have to look past the education and realize that education school systems are kind of like businesses. And as businesses, we have to be competitive with our competitors. So we need to find the most efficient and effective way of delivering our product, education, to our consumers, our students. And if we can do that in the most efficient and effective way possible, we can compete with privatized education, or we can compete for public funding and grants.
And did you have, when you sat on the board, did your fellow classmates or really good friends of yours, did they offer you tips or advice, or would they share with you what they felt was really important to them as students in Anne Arundel County, and how you could be the voice for them?
Well, to be honest, I don't think all my peers kind of realized what I was doing and what it really entailed. But yes, a few of them would voice their concerns, their opinions about testing, about grading system policies, about technology policies and sports, the whole gambit of things. And I think being a voice for my peers, and it just provided a whole different relationship with me and the people I'm around. And not only were my student peers involved in talking to me about what was going on in the school system, my teachers, other people, soccer moms, fathers, military organizations, they're all talking to me about what they thought the school system could do better. And I think when you really realize how many stakeholders there are in this organization, you really get a grasp of how all-encompassing the impact of what we do here at Anne Arundel County Public Schools is on our community.
And I mean, our students are our future. We say it all the time, right? I mean, we have to best prepare them to go out, and I always look at the healthy lifestyle piece of it, because I think that really keeps them active, healthy adults that can be ready to work in the morning, right? And charged and fueled, and report to work on a daily basis, and not have to worry about sickness or tardies and some of those things that they might if they're not living a healthy lifestyle.
Yep.
Now, when you, so I guess through your K through 12, wellness initiatives have continued to grow here, obviously. But what if any, do you see as the biggest, wellness initiatives or impacts that you saw that the school system did that helped? Like, could it be the bullying, or, is the green environment something that you really saw change so much over your years that we now have students that are looking at, air quality and the chemicals that they use to clean the buildings, things like that?
I think the importance on wellness has definitely developed over the years. Like I said before, I mean, when I was in elementary school, a lot of the wellness initiatives were focused on eating right, getting your 60 minutes of exercise every day through programs such like Jump Rope for Heart. But as I got older, it started to be more encompassing with the bullying. Bullying was a very strong initiative through my middle school and early high school years. That was a strong focus in our schools. And I think that goes a long way to kind of create a good mental health and mental wellness community in our school systems. And like you said, the green initiatives were probably in my later high school years a big focus for all the science classes, all our science clubs, and looking at the air quality of our schools, how to make our schools more green. And I think you can even see it in our science fair projects of late. We have a lot of students doing amazing things with their science projects, looking at how to make the world a better place, a more efficient place to live, and a cleaner place to live as well.
And I think it just expands everybody's horizons, right? To look outside of just being, concerned about what they're doing or the impact of them. I mean, I think our students really, by far, are really looking at how do we better the whole world, right? And I think you definitely hit it on that, and we see it. I have 2 young children, and it's interesting. I think just recently, having the opportunity to work with you and just seeing the fine young man that you are, of growing through the system, and obviously your parents did a fantastic job. And I think the experience you have shows in our dealings. But I look at my children too, and I think, how can I have them eat healthy because they want to, not because, and because they like it. Not because somebody told them that was the right decision, but just because it's culture, it's part of the environment, and they want to have an entree salad, or they want to have the honey mustard, maybe in the lighter version. So it really is. It's nice to see it. It's nice to see what Anne Arundel County Public Schools produced for you and the person it made you. And I think we really do that each and every day. Before we go to break, we're just going to talk a little bit about, we've looked at the wellness policy. And what did you find, I guess, on our website? There is a wellness section. We're only going to talk about it briefly, but for a parent watching or a viewer watching, they can go to our website and they could just find some wellness initiatives that we have out there. Would you encourage a parent, I guess, to go look there? I mean, as the Food Service Authority, obviously I feel that our meal stuff there is to educate them on what we serve, but we also have PE initiatives out there and guidance, and we have some bullying things. We have policies or information on tobacco.
Well, to start a well and healthy community, it starts in the home. So I would encourage a lot of our parents to go on our website and look at how expansive our wellness programs are. There's a lot of resources on our website. There's a lot of phone numbers, a lot of reading material and text that you can look at to really educate yourself as a parent, and for those older students to educate themselves on how to live a healthy lifestyle. And like I said, if you can change the actions that are in your home, you can change the actions that you'll take on to when you're a young adult or you're an independent adult at college.
Very well said. And I love that you brought in the home piece. So when we're going to go to break, but when we come back, we're going to talk more about the home, and we're going to talk about really the initiative that you and I are working on today.
All right, thank you.
Don't go away. We'll be right back with Nick LeFavor from Anne Arundel County. He was a past student board member, and now a student at LaSalle University.
Hi, I'm Jeannie Porter. Anne Arundel County Public Schools Department of Transportation is raising the level of awareness for the safety of your children as we transport them to and from school. When a school bus stops to load students, as a driver, this is what you will see. At 150 feet, the bus will activate hazard lights. At 100 feet, the bus driver will activate the amber lights. They will start slowing down. At 10 feet before the bus stops, they will turn on the red bus lights. Their stop sign will come out, and students will begin to load. Once all students are on board safely, the bus driver will turn off red lights and move forward. At this time, it is safe for the motorist to resume movement.
Since being online is part of our lives, it's a good idea to take steps to protect ourselves, our information, and our computers. One thing you can do to stay safe is to limit your online friends to people you actually know. By turning on privacy settings and learning about location-based services, you can keep strangers from learning too much about you. And don't give certain information out to anyone. Your social security number, family bank accounts, and even your password can cause lots of trouble in the wrong hands. You can protect yourself and your computer by keeping up to date on security software and being cautious about what you click. Emails, P2P downloads, and promises of free stuff can hide viruses and spyware. Being online is part of your life, so stop and think before you click.
Welcome back, and thanks for staying tuned to Food for Thought. Nick LeFavor from Anne Arundel County joins me today to talk a lot about wellness initiatives, being a past student, student board member, and now a college student. Nick, we talked so much in the first segment about just your history in Anne Arundel County, and I love that you're, a lifetime resident here as well. But let's talk about how your Anne Arundel County Public Schools years prepared you for college. Okay, so how did we prepare you as a school system, as well as your mom and dad? Because I think that's pretty important. And you talked about home, and it sounds like mom and dad, again, gave you everything that you needed to be prepared. But I'd love to go through, what does a typical college day look like, and how do you impact your healthy decisions that you make and your healthy lifestyle from what you have, and how does that really transfer right into your college life to have you alert, fueled, and ready to learn each and every day in college?
Well, I wouldn't call my college day typical. Being a student athlete makes it a very versatile day, to say the least. So some days I'll get up really early in the morning and go out for my run for my team practice. But some days our practices aren't usually scheduled until right during lunchtime. So a typical day is I'll get up, I'll get ready, take a shower, get fresh for the day, and then I'll go to breakfast, have a very balanced breakfast, usually a bagel, some fruits, some juice, and then I'm running off to class to get my studies done. But as soon as I'm done with class for that morning session, I have to sprint my butt to practice. And at practice, it's usually 2-3 hour practice, very intense, very rigorous. But it just so happens that the time we end practice is about 15 minutes after lunch is served in the dining hall. So it's a struggle some days to kind of be fueled, be ready to kind of get you through the night, because sometimes we have class during the night as well. So it's really important for me to take what I learned in school about eating healthy in health class, and what my parents taught me about being fueled and being ready for the day. So I keep fruits, vegetables, some very complex carbohydrates in my room to kind of keep me fueled after practice, to get me through that jump from in between lunch and dinner. And then at dinner, have a nice meal, because that's the last thing I'll be eating for that day. And then I can study that night in the library, or I can go to class that night as well.
Now, I think we often see when students enter college, there's always the freshman 15, right? You hear about that all the time. And I think it's probably because students have freedom, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
You're making choices all on your own. We in Anne Arundel County, we get to put together a beautiful menu for our students every day. As a registered dietitian and a mom of two girls here, I love to do that, because I know I provide them protein and whole grains and fruits and vegetables. They can fill half of their plate, up to 2 cups a day. So I know that all of those right items are right in front of them. But once you're on your own, you could pick and choose those items.
Well, having those items right in front of you from a very early age is important, and that goes a long way to helping us as students and young adults make right decisions when we get to college. Now, in college, you have that ice cream bar there 24/7. Lunch,
Is it really open
dinner,
24/7?
breakfast, yep, ice cream right there at your fingertips. But having that background in Anne Arundel County schools, I knew, everything's good in moderation. So ice cream maybe once or twice a week, that's okay. But like you said earlier, you want us to make the decisions because we want to. Now, I know not everybody loves salad or loves an entree salad, but for me, yeah, some days I don't really want a salad, but I eat it anyway, not because it's the right thing to do, it's because I want the benefits of eating that salad later on. I want to be alert, I want to be healthy, I want to have the energy to hang out with my friends, to study, to do well. So making that right food choice in the long run is what I want to do, instead of maybe looking short term and, man, I really want a cheeseburger and some fries right now, but knowing what that'll make me later, it kind of balances it out to make me make the right decision.
And I'm sure at home you probably saw that same, right? I mean, I'm sure mom or dad, whoever, I mean, in our house, my husband does a lot of the cooking, but there's always fruits and vegetables, and we always have them cleaned, and they're always cut in the refrigerator. And I think for a viewer watching, that's a good tip to have. Have carrot sticks ready to go, or celery sticks, fresh fruit already cut and ready to go. I mean, I think we see our children all the time. They just open that refrigerator door, and that's what they're grabbing.
Yeah, that's really important. Being one of 3 children and 2 parents working, you know, it was grab and go. It was a very fast-paced lifestyle at our home. We were driving into music practice, dance lessons, for me, my soccer practices or my baseball practices. And, you know, we didn't always have time to have that sit-down family meal, and that's where a lot of people can say, oh, we'll just grab something on the road, like at a fast food place like McDonald's. But rather, if you kind of just grab that fruits or vegetables, that'll hold you over a lot longer and give you more energy throughout your day. So I think having those grab and go healthy choices kind of make that healthy lifestyle eating a lot easier.
And we do the same thing. We have a grab and go option in schools, and we're doing more grab and go options especially in secondary schools or in high schools at remote locations. So you can come up and you can get a wrap. We're adding some wraps. You're going to get your fruit or your vegetable right in there. You can add our additional fruits and vegetables, your milk, and our milk is fat-free or 1%, and then off you go. So it really is. I think our society today is sometimes rushed, right? I mean, it's all about what do we do next, and what's the next thing as when you're an adult, you know, at work, or where do you get your kids to practice? So I think it's important, but I think even more important is parents have to role model. And I think our teachers in our schools are great role models. Our food service staff in the schools are great role models. When they eat, we see them having, you know, their plates full of fruits and vegetables. They are drinking their milk. So, you know, our students or our youngsters definitely do what we do. So it's important to have that. Now, most recently, you and I have been working on a project, and we have a very, very robust wellness program here. We've talked a lot about it, but our wellness program is all-inclusive. We have parents, we have student nutrition services, PE, health education. We have our school nurses involved. We have our psychological services and our guidance folks for that whole mental wellness that you've talked about. That's very key for us. And we always have our environment folks at the table with us. Just all of our key stakeholders there to really share the importance of the overall health and well-being of all of our students and all of our staff. With you looking at our wellness policy, because that's what you've really been looking at, and that legislative issue, right? So you've talked about that being in your studies right now. What do you feel about our wellness policy? You know, how do you feel that will even further enhance what we get to do here in Anne Arundel County?
Well, with wellness and living, you know, you can never be too far ahead of the curve. And that it's adapting, it's ever changing. So it's a big struggle for a huge organization like us to kind of keep up to date with what we can do the most effective and efficient way possible. But I'd say Anne Arundel County, by far, by leaps and bounds, are ahead of the curve than most of our neighboring school systems. What we do here in Anne Arundel County for overall wellness, by far, is ahead of everybody else. Our website is by far the most comprehensive, the most useful website about the state of Maryland. And then I think the depth of where our wellness policies go and our regulations go, again, is just far above what other school systems are doing. And what Anne Arundel County is doing right now is we're being a role model for those people around us to see how they can kind of take the lead and take the baton and run off with this new wellness culture that's growing in America. And it's a struggle sometimes, like keeping up with the federal regulations from USDA and CDC, but I'd say Anne Arundel County is definitely doing its part and making sure our youngsters are alive and well.
And I think what's so important, and the part that I love the most, is there are no barriers. So as a food service supervisor here, I feel completely comfortable going to talk to anybody on this committee, even if it's talking about green initiatives and how well the recycling is going in this high school versus the bullying program at another high school, or the school nurses and our allergies. So we're all together to really look at what's best for our students and our staffs that are in the school, because they make the difference. And I believe that we're leaders in this area. I think something that you and I have worked on, and something that we're going to be able to provide the schools in the near future, we're looking at a wellness toolkit. And this wellness toolkit will be something that a school principal can use. And what are some of the parts of the wellness toolkit, or how do you see the wellness toolkit even further enhancing the school sites in addition to what we do centrally?
Well, when working with the school system, one of the things that we really need as far as to comply with federal regulations and just to be effective in delivering wellness programs and policies is there needs to be an individual touch for it. Not South County, Anne Arundel County, and North County, Anne Arundel County are two very different regions with two different lifestyles. So I don't think one type of wellness program can apply for every single school. So this toolkit that you mentioned is designed to be personal to each school. So the principals and the teachers and the physical education department can really tailor it to what their school system does and what makes them unique. Being well and being healthy, I mean, it means different things for different people. So I think this wellness toolkit and this individualized wellness kind of program and resource for students and parents at each individual school will really go a long way in helping those students with specific needs to make healthy decisions and be well.
And I think it will it'll take our message of what we have centrally, right, and really branch out so those schools can make it their own, but still carry that same message that we want our students fueled for their day, mentally, physically, and we know a well student is going to have academic excellence. I mean, there's clearly study after study that shows when you have the well child, you really see the difference on the curriculum side or the academic achievement side. So both very key to us, and we think that toolkit will really make an impact.
Yep, the toolkit, I think, will definitely make an impact, and sometimes our wellness policies and regulations will, for the everyday reader, they seem confusing and wordy, but I think this toolkit will really go a long way for making Anne Arundel County transparent in their wellness initiatives.
Yeah. It has been a pleasure working with you on all of these items. I think you're such a value to Anne Arundel County. You're truly a model that I'm hoping people watching today will be inspired, and you'll really empower them to make the right decisions that you have, and to take some of the tips that you've shared, and hopefully they, utilize those same tips in their own life to make themselves whole and feel better about themselves and to achieve greater heights. So thank you for coming in today, and thank you for being part of Anne Arundel County.
Thank you for having me. I really enjoyed it.
Thank you. As you can see, Nick LeFavor is a known name here in Anne Arundel County. He was a student, he was a student board member, and now he's in college studying to even help further communities, not only in Anne Arundel County, but it could be across multiple states. If you have any questions about the wellness program or the wellness policy, please call me at 410-222-5900. I would also love to chat with you about any ideas about new fresh fruits, vegetables, or any of the school meals that we offer each and every day. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you next time on Food for Thought.
Dude, what are you doing?
Those are full of sugar. You should be taking multivitamins instead.
Whoa, it's Superman.
Those vitamins are a healthy source of energy to fuel a better workout and boost your immune system.
Wow, they really do work. Thanks, Suppleman.
Make multivitamins part of your daily routine to take part in a healthy lifestyle and a better you.